Bonjour YouTube, welcome back to our channel. Today we are in Normandy and we're going to be taking you to Le Tréport. On y va! This is the third and final episode of this trip to the coast of Normandy. If you haven't seen our previous episodes from the neighboring town of Hauts and its beautiful royal chateau, we highly recommend it and left a link to the episode in the pinned comment below. We spent the night at a small boutique hotel that had a cute view on the street below, especially at night. And after a breakfast and obligatory coffee, we headed out to explore the two towns, Le Tréport and the neighboring Mers-les-Bains, famous for its 19th century villas promenade along the beach. Luckily for us, just around the corner from the apartment we stayed at stands the beautiful Église Saint-Jacques au Tréport.
This church is actually not the first to be built here. Previous churches were built and destroyed on this site over the centuries. Construction phases spanned the 11th, 14th, 16th, and 19th centuries and were part of the Saint-Michel Abbey. In fact, at the start of the 11th century, the Comte diverted the Brel to extend the port, weakening the church, which didn't survive the bad weather, and eventually collapsed in 1360. The rebuilt church was then razed by the English and subsequently by the Huguenots. What we see today is the third building that was completed in the second half of the 16th century.
In 1840, this church was classed as a historic monument. It features a facade that is typical of the region, with walls in a checkerboard of dark sandstone and flint, giving the building a distinctive appearance. Renaissance and Gothic influence are present with finely worked ornaments. The interior features remarkable clés de voûte pendantes or hanging keystones, with the largest of them measuring 3.8 meters. The 19th century stained glass windows are from the Atelier Luçon in Paris, particularly notable in the sanctuary and the chapel dedicated to the Virgin Mary. Modestly in the corner hangs a memorial plaque dedicated to Rachel Salmona, honoring victims of the Second World War. Born on November 5, 1933 in Paris, in a Sephardic Jewish family of Turkish origin, she lived with her family at 14 Rue Alexandre Papin au Tréport, attending the communal girls' school on Rue Suzanne. Her father had been arrested in Paris in August of 1941. Her mother, believing it would protect them, had both daughters baptized by the curé of Tréport on 9th of June 1942. Following an attack on a German officer in Rouen on 2nd of January 1943, the Gestapo ordered a major raffle of all Jews from 15th to 17th of January the same year. On 16th of January, gendarmes from the Brigade du came to get Rachel directly from her classroom. She was aged 9. Rachel, her grandmother, her mother, and her little sister were taken to the Gendarmerie du, then interned at the Dieppe prison, before being transferred to Rouen and then finally to Drancy. She was deported to Auschwitz on Convoy 47 on 11th of February 1943 and was officially declared dead 5 days later, probably gassed on arrival. In 1988, the College of Tréport was renamed Collège Rachel Salmona in her memory.
Leaving the church, we went down the 73-step staircase that curves along the side of the port. From here, the views of the neighboring Mers-les-Bains and Tréport are breathtaking. It is also the side of the town where the Queen Victoria went for walks on September 4, 1843, during her visit to Hauts and its fabulous chateau. And while we make our way to the Funiculaire through the Quartier de Cordiers, let's dive into why people came here in the first place. Initially, Tréport was a simple fishing town with Le Quartier de Cordiers at its heart. Its name comes directly from its first inhabitants, the Cordiers, fishermen too poor to afford nets, who fished instead with long lines carrying hundreds of hooks and bait. Each expedition required boats of 5 to 6 men, handling lines stretching 700 to 1000 meters, fitted with 500 to 600 individual hooks, baited with sea worms. Despite this back-breaking labor, these fishermen were the poorest in Le Tréport, precisely because they could not afford proper nets.
The houses are recognizable by their decorative ceramic tiles, slate roofs, and wrought iron balconies. When a boat was repainted, in blue for example, the facade of the boat owner's house was painted in the same colors. The ground floors of the houses served to store fishing equipment. Families lived in the upper floors, often 10 people in very small spaces. Women repaired nets at the doorstep. Children played in the streets, and linen dried on the beach. The street and the shore were basically the communal living spaces. Thanks to Louis Philippe's presence at the Château d'U, Le Tréport became a fashionable seaside resort, and from that point this quartier began to be populated by elegant villas alongside the original fishermen's houses. During the Second World War, part of the Quartier was unfortunately razed for the construction of the Mur de l'Atlantique. An underground German bunker, Le Karlburg, was built into the cliffs in 1942 and served as a command post. Note that it is very difficult to book a visit as they are very rare and we simply couldn't align it with our trip. Maybe next time, and until then, let us know if you have been there yourself. It's so beautiful.
It's unique.
It's very unique. Everybody's like trying, and they're so chilled out. Like you pass by and the houses are open. People are just relaxing. I love it.
The Funiculaire is definitely the striking element of the whole town. Its history goes back to the year 1881, when the idea to connect the top of the chalk cliffs with the villas below was first brought to the table. There needed to be a way to overcome the 110-meter elevation that until then was only possible by foot or horse carriages, a highly discouraging affair for visitors. Given the rising popularity of the town and the influx of wealthy Parisians arriving for holidays, investors decided to launch the construction of the Funiculaire and almost simultaneously the grand luxury hotel, Le Trianon-Hotel, at the top of the cliffs known as Les Terrasses. The first Funiculaire opened on 1st of July 1908 in the presence of Gaston d'Orléans and his wife Isabelle, Comte and Comtesse d'U. It was a Funiculaire in a double tunnel layout with massive 6-ton wooden cars divided into 4 compartments arranged in a staircase pattern on the chassis closed by sliding doors. After the First World War, it struggled financially and was eventually requisitioned by the Germans during the Second World War, never reopening after the liberation. A replacement cable car ran from 1958 to 1981 before being defeated by the coastal winds, and after the town acquired the installations in 1992, a full restoration was completed in 2006. Today is free, covers 155 meters of slope, and connects the upper and lower town in under 3 minutes.
You just stay in the queue a little bit and it just climbs up really fast, really comfortable. And here they've got like a canteen and then they've got like a coffee shop. So they got coffee, really good coffee. Children, sometimes. The views are incredible in here. Highly recommend it. So if you're in Tréport, definitely come here. Funiculaire is really fast. Being here, we couldn't imagine that that 200-room neoclassical palace stood here, complete with gardens, a tennis court, an 18-hole golf course, and even a hockey field. The tragic irony is that the construction of Le Trianon-Hotel finished in 1913, but the palace never welcomed a single paying guest. Converted into a military hospital the following year, it housed convalescent Commonwealth soldiers until 1919, then limped through the interwar years before going bankrupt in the 1930s. The final blow came in 1942, when following the failed Canadian landing at Dieppe, the occupying German forces dynamited both the casino and the Trianon and recovered the debris to use as a building material in their bunker network in the cliff below. We headed back down, using the staircase this time. The views here are stunning.
Behind me is the Museum of Tréport. Unfortunately, we cannot go inside. Simply, it's open only Saturdays and Sundays. So we need to stay here until Saturday, which is not possible. So
the museum's building is the former town hall, constructed in brick in 1882, built over a fortified town gate dating from 1563. The archway that once gave access to the shore serves as a regular passage today. Apparently, inside is a grand collection covering maritime history of Le Tréport. It is spread across 5 floors, including the 2 former town cells. Basically, we gotta come back here on a weekend. We decided to come down to the beach in Tréport because from the palace, from above here, I saw a restaurant that looked like it was the fries place, you know? And so I was sure it was serving the fries. And Sinan, of course, Sinan, he's a big fan of fries. So he was like, let's go. So we came here and it's not a fries, it's a kebab store.
kebab. Turned out to be kebab.
So we're not having kebab, thank you. We're gonna have to wait and we're gonna basically chill here a little bit, and then we're gonna go to the other side, and over there we'll check out the villas, and then we're gonna have our feast that we had yesterday when we came here. Exciting. I absolutely love these chalets. They're so beautiful, the cliffs. Amazing, just amazing.
As we cross into the historic Picardy, or today's Hauts-de-France region, and precisely east town of Mers-les-Bains, we pass by the train station that has been serving the two destinations since 1872. Mers-les-Bains was previously just a small fishing port, but the late 19th century craze for therapeutic sea bathing, launched in England around 1860 and enthusiastically promoted by doctors, transformed it into one of the most fashionable resorts on this stretch of coast, with hundreds of elegant villas built between 1880 and 1914. By the way, this place reminded us of Malo-les-Bains. Same structure in Malo-les-Bains. There were so many houses next to each other, colorful ones. Actually, I have the same feeling.
I like this town. I like this town a lot. It's really calm. Sinan keeps on comparing it to Malo-les-Bains. I think yes, there are similarities because the villas are from the Belle Époque, definitely. But I felt like Malo-les-Bains was a bit too. It felt bigger to me because there was a big marché. I think there was a cinema as well. There were like grand buildings in the beginning. Here, nothing like that. It's just the villas, and it's sunny and it's beautiful. At first, a 130-meter section was built in 1895 to house the bathing cabins of a cold water bathing establishment, and by the following year, property owners were already petitioning the government about the beach erosion caused by the extension of Le Tréport's jetties a decade earlier. The promenade was gradually extended in 1898 and again in 1902, reaching 735 meters in total and about 20 meters wide. The train de plaisir brought the bourgeoisie parisienne at attractive fares. Families would arrive for the weekend, wives staying on for the summer while husbands returned to work. Posters advertised the journey as Paris in 3.5 hours. Originally called l'Esplanade de la Plage, it was renamed l'Esplanade de Général Leclerc after the Second World War. The beach running alongside it stretches about 1 kilometer. The architectural variety is extraordinary. Because plots were narrow, the villas were built tall rather than wide, with windows and balconies projecting towards the sea to bring residents as close to the water as possible.
And that's it for today. We hope you liked this episode as much as we did. If you would like to see more of these videos, please don't forget to like, share and comment below. And until the next one, au revoir.